Welcome to another Cardano update. Like always, make sure to check out our YouTube memberships and our Patreon if you want access to all of our charts and if you want access to our daily Discord updates. So as you can see, ADA got to around 52 cents yesterday, but unfortunately I cannot confirm that the low is in because if you look at the Bitcoin chart right now on the RSI, we are still not at the trend line, meaning that we're probably gonna go a bit lower. And also keep in mind, even if we get to the trend line right now, we kind of have to close there like we did in that area and in that area over there and even back there. And after we close in that area, only after that and only after we get a bounce, I can confirm that the low is in. So please remember that. And also, if you look at the ADA chart, we did not quite get to my C-wave target at 51.7 cents. So for the time being, yes, I'm expecting another low, and if we are getting another low, we should stay above 47.3 cents, which is where the much bigger 0.786 support level is. If we do not manage to hold that level, I could see a scenario where maybe we even drop below that, but this 1-2 setup is probably not gonna get invalidated because keep in mind, I'm only expecting Bitcoin to get to $100,000, so after it does that, we should, in my opinion, do absolutely nothing until Sunday, so we can actually close the wick right there above the trend line, and then we could focus on higher prices. For the time being, I'm expecting Bitcoin dominance to go a bit higher because that's exactly what we were doing last year as well. As you can see, first we formed a new high in November, and only after that we started going down, and that's exactly what we did in 2023 as well. So that's what I'm waiting for. So if you want a short-term target right now, if we manage to get above the 200-day moving average, which is at 61.7%, then we are probably gonna get above that high right there as well, which is at 63.5%, but I don't really see Bitcoin dominance breaking the previous all-time high, or I'm sorry, the cycle high, because I don't think that's gonna happen, but obviously that's just my opinion. I think for the time being, Bitcoin dominance might get rejected by the 200-day moving average again, and that's gonna lead to a much bigger move to the downside. Historically, Cardano goes up quite a lot in November or October, and right now we're already in November, so I think we're actually gonna start going up pretty soon, but only after we are done with this correction. So I think this correction is gonna be finished by Sunday, and then after that, we can finally start focusing on getting all-time highs. Keep in mind, on the ADA chart, on the daily, we got to the oversold territory there, which could be a very good sign. Yes, we also got to the oversold territory in this area, but as you can see right now, we are oversold again, and the price is much higher. Other than that, the last time we got to the oversold territory was right here back in June when ADA was at 50 cents, and before that it was right here again when ADA was at 50 cents again, and even back here, as you can see, this low was very significant because when we got to the oversold territory there, that confirmed that the low was in at around 27 cents. So yes, we might go a bit lower right now, but I think this is actually very good because after this we could maybe use the much bigger 0.618 support level right here as support yet again. So I think this setup is still looking pretty bullish. If you look at Ethereum, it almost got another low in the fourth wave move down, and I think we're probably gonna get to the 200-day moving average right there at around $3,376, and then after that we should get a bounce, but if we do not get a bounce in that area, we always can test the 50% support level and then still bounce. So for the time being, I'm bullish. Also keep in mind, if we go a bit lower right now and if we get to the 50% support level, that's gonna put us in the oversold territory on the daily, which could be extremely bullish because the last time that happened was right here back in April when Ethereum was at $1,400. So getting oversold again, in my opinion, would be the best case scenario, but we don't have to do that if we do not want to test the 50% support level. But yeah, I think everything is still looking pretty fine. I also want to look at the much bigger picture on the ADA chart. Like I said, it always goes up in either October or November, but I also said a couple of days ago that the structure that we are getting right now looks very similar to what we had over there as well, and if that is the case, well, in my opinion, we should stay above the low right here at around 41.9 cents, because there, after we had a crazy wick to the downside and after we dropped below the moving average on the weekly RSI, yes, we did get another move to the downside after that, after we tested the bear market support band, but in this move to the downside, we always stayed above the low right there, and you could say that's exactly what we did over here as well. We dropped below the moving average on the weekly RSI, we had a huge move to the downside, we then managed to recover, but we got rejected by the bear market support band, and that's what gave us another move to the downside. But keep in mind, in this move to the downside, just like over there, we stayed above the low right there, So I think this could be important to understand, and what we need to do right now is get a reaction to the 0.618 support level, and then we could focus on hopefully getting the third wave of the third wave. The target for the third wave of the third wave is at $3.50. That's gonna complete a much bigger third wave of this 1-2 setup, and then after that we should get a fourth wave move down, which is probably gonna be an ABC structure, and after getting that we could still get a fifth wave. But please remember what I said a couple of weeks ago: if ADA does not manage to complete the much bigger third wave by the end of November, I don't think we're gonna have enough time to get a fourth wave and then a fifth wave through the upside. So of course that's just my opinion. Maybe it's still gonna play out like this, maybe we're still gonna get a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 setup, but I'm not gonna risk it, and I'm gonna say that maybe if we get the third wave right here in January rather than in November, we're not gonna have time to get a 4 and a 5. So that's my target for the time being, $3.50 for the third wave, and if we get it by the end of November, we could then get a 4 and a 5, and that could put us at around $5 to $8. Other than that, I want everyone to understand that a couple of weeks ago, ADA Bitcoin got to the exact same levels as 2017, which could be a good sign, and also here back in 2017, we got to the exact same lows back in October, just like we did right now. So I think this is gonna play out the exact same. I think for the time being, yes, we could go a bit lower, but then after that, we should get a bounce like we got over there, and that could finally get us an altcoin season. But if we want an altcoin season, first we need to get to all-time highs on the Ethereum chart, and then we could focus on the altcoins finally outperforming everything. But to actually get that, we first need to find a low in the much bigger fourth wave, but then after that, the target for the much bigger fifth wave of the fifth wave will be at around $7,600, which should be more than enough to start an altcoin season. So that's pretty much it for today. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure to check out our YouTube memberships and our Patreon if you want access to all of our charts, and if you want access to our daily Discord updates. Like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.